Hi, my name is Myra Tanksley, and this is a continuing series on how me and my son was uh, abused by OSU Medical Center, Harding Hospital, during his last hospitalization there that happened back in 2012. Um, he is autistic and was hospitalized there, and it was just a nightmare. The incompetence, the lack of autism, the knowledge, the lack of patient care for a patient with autism, Um, like I said, no knowledge base. Um, the nurses, they were unfit, or the nursing staff, they didn't know anything about autism. They didn't have the patience, they didn't have the personalities to deal with a patient that needed special care and had special needs. Um, I got some other audio videos that will prove what I'm saying. My son um, was falsely accused by the nursing staff of wanting to hit me. They ended the visit. That really escalated him. They tried to make him say that he wanted me to leave. He screamed no. I was physically abused by one of the RNs. Um, that same RN and another RN had actually verbally assaulted me, but she also physically assaulted me too. Um, it's just a nightmare. It's just nothing was done about it. Everything was swept under the rug. But, I have the evidence, so I'm going to put it out there. Now, on this particular audio video, this happened, I believe, March the 26th, 2012, because after I called the so-called liaison for the patient family, her name was Angie Chesser, and she didn't say or do anything, but she did listen to me, because I told her exactly how things were when they had denied my son um, a visitation with me. They had also, when I called later on that evening, they wouldn't let me talk to him. But right then and there, they were saying he was having a meltdown and stuff. So he was having meltdowns um, whenever they wasn't doping him up with Haldol and Ativan when I wasn't even there. And I got quite a bit of audio tapes of the conversations with OSU staff. But and if anybody challenges me about it, I can bring them out and prove what I'm saying. But this particular one was the social worker calling me on the day that he was discharged, because they wanted me to come in just to talk with the doctors about discharging him. Because I told her I want him discharged. I said, after everything that done happened, it's just been a complete failure. You don't know how to deal with your, you know, an autistic patient. You got crappy, incompetent, abusive staff. Um, the doctors didn't really know how to deal with him, because it's not a psychiatric disorder. So that's what she was calling me about that day. And I can't remember. It was sometime in the morning. They wanted me to meet with them at 1 p.m., which I said I will definitely do. And I told her why. I want him discharged out of that hospital. Because anytime you don't know how to uh, properly care for a patient with autism, and then, and it got to a point where, me and my son was just abused. And then, nurses screaming in a family member's face, and one of them grabbing your sleeve and trying to pull you down the hall and stuff. I said, we need to get out of that hellhole. I want him out of there. So that's what this one is about. And then look for the audio videos that are already on YouTube um, of the actual incident of this that I keep, referring to. There's an actual audio tape of this incident. that visit where they ended it and traumatized my son and was trying to force him to say he wanted me to leave and falsely accused him of wanting to hit me, and he was screaming and going off in the background and like making my mother leave, and no, I didn't wasn't trying to hit her, and I mean, it was just unbelievable. And then when they were screaming and yelling at me, I said, you can hate me all you want, but I am his mother. I'm a family member, and I'm also a nurse. I said, I've never seen nurses like that. And then one grabbing on you and stuff. So that's on YouTube. That's going to go on the Justice page. And then also at OSU Wexner Medical Center East, their sister hospital, where a security guard punched my son in the face because he was, while they were restraining him and holding all four limbs, he actually leaned over from the bottom center of the cot in my son's face, which is, you got to know how to work with them. That made my son raise up. And because he couldn't hit him because they had his arms tied down and, restrained, because they had him in physical and mechanical restraints. And when my son raised up, you don't do that to an autistic individual. They're going to struggle. He punched him in his eye. So that picture and video will be on the Justice page. You can actually see where his eye was cut. I may OSU. This happened in ER at the East Hospital of OSU Western Medical Center. So you'll see the picture of the eye that was injured by the punch to my son's face by the security guard, and I made him take pictures of it and everything. So, and then the last thing will be of the scummy psychiatrist over there at OSU, Harding, that wrote a letter slandering me for Franklin County Board of DD. Of course, they hate my son and they hate me, and then trying to portray him like he needs to be institutionalized and stuff. But while he was there, they treated him like crap, like I've been showing in these audio videos, threatening with security, always call security on him, and not knowing how to care for a patient with autism, and it's just, it's just awful. But anyway, I think about it and it just makes me shudder. I said, but it needs to be out there, and bring your slimy OSU corporate attorneys on, because I got some more audio tapes of the scum that works over there that has treated me and my son like we were just pure garbage on the street. He ain't done nothing to them people, neither have I. I said, but I'm not the kind of mother that's going to keep my mouth shut when people are abusing my son. That's why God gave him to me. I'm going to take care of him and stuff. And I guess it's like, how dare you? And there's always these racist overtones too. They could take it better probably if I was white, if my son was white. But it's like, how dare you speak up? And when that crazy attorney, and he will be on the Justice page as well, David Belinkie, was screamed at me in court. I can see why people don't like you. I said, well, I started to tell him, what kind of people are you talking about? The ones that I expose for their corruption and their abuse and their incompetence? Yeah, it depends on what kind of people you're talking about. Because people don't like, you coming out and exposing them. And being able to prove it. I said, because I just don't sit up and bitch and complain about it. I can back it up, and I believe in having that evidence right along with it. That's the way I like to do it. So, without further ado, this is me having a conversation with this social worker that called me, like I said, I think it was March 26, 2012, the morning of, for me to come in there at 1 p.m. because they were ready to discharge him. And another thing that had happened, and I don't know if I taped that, but I had called Channel 4 and talked to the person that answered the phone, I think it was Candace Lee, I'm not too sure, and told her about it. And I think she sent them an email, you know, and they got it Monday morning. So it was like, yeah, we need to hurry up and get him out of here, um, and get him discharged. Because I told her that, you know, they would deny visitation. I was his legal guardian. I was his biological mother. I told her about the assaults, what happened um, when they, you know, ended our visit, that episode, and I think they emailed them. So it was like, let's hurry up and get them on out of here. And which I was in agreement with. I said, because ain't no use you traumatizing and terrorizing my son, you know, because when he can't see his mom, I said, that's a trigger right there, you know. When that autistic person, or, you know, even a typical person, but, you know, he's got autism, and you're telling him he can't see his mom, and, you know, he's set off morning, noon, and night, and meds is making him crazy, the staff, the environment and stuff. I mean, it's just unreal. It's just unreal. And also, I have a tape of Ohio Legal Rights Services. It's now named Disability Rights Ohio. And that's actually on this tape too, but it's not part of this conversation, but it's on actually the cassette tape where I called and made a complaint, and about the way they had treated my son and treating me, and the denied visitation, denied phone calls, just the way they had treated him, you know. So uh, nothing came out of that either. Because Disability Rights Ohio, they went after Columbus City Schools after I reported that seclusion clause. But with these people, they're all friends. It depends on who it is, you know. If it's somebody that they really want to go after, then they'll go after them. But if it's, you know, somebody that they don't want to, they just ignore it, sweep it under the rug, you know. But without further ado, here's this, me talking to this social worker saying, yeah, I'll be there at 1 p.m. And because I knew that's what it was, you know, we'll get the social worker to call the family, and we need to get them on out of here, and we'll have a discharge meeting and get them on out of there and stuff. So this is me and her having a conversation, and really she acknowledging that, yeah, you know, in spite of him being just admitted, I think on the 23rd of March, he needed to be out there March the 26th because staff was incompetent and couldn't manage his autism needs, and the, you know, and the behaviors that, you know, were occurring because they were setting him off, and couldn't manage him as a patient with autism. So here you go.
You're the social worker? Yes. I wanted to give you a call. I just had that meeting with the doctor, and he was wondering if you could come in at 1 o'clock to sit down and meet with him. I want, you know, the only thing I have to say to OSU Harding at this point, with everything that has happened, is I want him discharged, and hopefully that can occur today. And okay, can you come in at 1 o'clock then, and that way we'll all sit down and we can discuss that? Yes, I will be there at 1 o'clock. I want to know how my son is doing. I'm afraid for his well-being, because the nurses there are just unqualified, just by the actions and the things they have said and done, and that sort of thing. So right now, it's just not the place. You know, he needs specialized treatment. So at 1 p.m., I will be there, but can you tell me how he's doing? Because I know he's just having all kind of problems being there and not being able to talk to me. He's in a room now on his own, with the door open. The doctor went and seen him, and he was very good with the doctor. So I know they were just talking about some medication changes, trying to get him back on the medication that he had been on back in September that I think he did better on. Is that right? No, he didn't do better on. Take it from zero on. He didn't do better on this? No, he didn't. And just because, you know, from a psychiatric field, stuff is meds, but there are some people in the world, in the autistic community, that can't take meds and stuff. So, okay. You know, because what y'all do, and, you know, I had to educate all the time. Right now I don't care, because I'm not very happy with what went down. I don't like the way your nurses try to betray my son and betray me and his relationship. Because I don't know. I know they don't know. You know, I'm not really worried about it, because you got a parent to live with autism autistic individuals to even have a clue about what we have to go through. So I don't care anymore what people think over there and stuff. But, you know, people have to realize that just because you put somebody on meds, especially autistic people, don't mean it's going to work. And see, what y'all do, y'all put them on meds, but you never really see the proper response. You have to wait until they get home, like, 2 or 3 weeks later to see how they really do on meds and stuff. So you never really find that out in acute hospitalization. Yeah, because I'm living it. You know, I'm the expert on my son and his response to things because I live with him. And nobody can touch that. That puts me way mile ahead of doctors and social workers and nurses and stuff because I'm the one that has to monitor the response to it. And he just does not do good on meds because his brain is so messed up. And he's having Percocet withdrawal, and that's the only reason why I didn't want to go to OSU Harding because of the nurses there that have, you know, portrayed him and slander me and don't know what they're doing and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, there's going to be some stuff coming out of this. Because anytime you got two nurses screaming and yelling in a family member's face, and one of them actually grabbing a family member and stuff, you got problems. And they need to be sent home or whatever, counsel or whatever. And that's what happened Saturday. And to put my son, it escalated my son. Because you don't never end a visit with a mother that's supportive and loving. And I'm the only comfort and support that he has. And to take that away from him, you know, I don't want him there in that hospital no more. Because it's just been complete failure, everything about it. So I was there at 1 o'clock. Okay, so you're here at 1 o'clock. And I have one more question for you. You see Dr. Duffy, is that right? Dr. Duffy is a psychiatrist at this time. In Springfield? Yeah, because he's the one that, you know, keeps his meds going and that sort of thing and stuff. But, you know, I want him discharged today for his well-being. Okay, well, I'll let the doctor know that. We'll see you at 1 o'clock, okay? All right, thank you. Thank you, bye-bye.
So there you have it. They, at that point, wanted to get him on out of there because they knew they couldn't do, wasn't competent enough to treat a patient with autism. And when I alluded to the Percocet withdrawal, Marquise had actually had to be on Percocet only probably for about 3 days because he had just had surgery. And it just really, me being an RN myself, he really started having some, I thought, withdrawal problems because he was only on it like 2-3 days for that level of pain and stuff. So that's the reason why. When I, you know, alluded to the Percocet, that's what I am alluding to, because he was given that post-surgery for pain control, and he was only on it for 2 or 3 days and stuff. So there you have it. You know, her, you know, doing her orders to get mom in here so we can get him discharged, because everything was just from the time he got there. On the 23rd, I think he was submitted, March the 23rd, 2012. The whole hospitalization was just a nightmare, you know, due to the staff. Because you can't blame him. He's got autism, you know. You can't blame him for his disability. He's not acting up and acting out and trying to be hard and non-compliant and oppositional. He can't help it, you know. He's just responding to the environment that they had him in. And you can't really blame me. I wouldn't be a mother if I didn't speak up and fight for my son. And fighting for him is like fighting for myself, because anything you do to my son, I feel it as a mother. That's the way I feel about it. So, you know, it just proves what I'm saying about OSU Webster Medical Center, Harding Hospital, and the regular hospitals. So the next one should be basically, hopefully, where he asked them, can my mom come see me? When I was telling him that they wouldn't allow me, they had denied the visitation, they would not allow me to come see him that evening. And thank you for listening and having, if you're going through this series, you know, trying to follow, because sometimes it can be pretty difficult to really understand, because there's just so much. It's so much has happened. And like I said, there will be a series on the other people and organizations, or the courts, the individuals, attorneys, that have done this to my son. And in doing it to him, they have done it to me. That's why I say I'm a victim in this thing. As a mother, I shouldn't have to, have to come into places and see my son abused and neglected like that, you know. But these idiots expect for me to, sweep under the rug like they do. I'm not supposed to say a word. I'm supposed to just turn my head and act like it hasn't happened. And I'm not that type of mother. So, thank you for listening, and I hope that you can keep following along. There's a couple more audio videos that should be coming out on the OSU series. And then I will be moving on to the other players. Thank you and have a blessed day.